Let's go.
Jason here. Something a little bit different today. It's actually a series that I want to work on. Just something throughout the week. Me and my buddy Sheldon, we play games pretty much every week. Tuesdays, sometimes we play on Mondays too. So we usually try to fit into 1 to 2 games on WARTABLE just to practice. Testing a couple things, just ideas for lists or just playing other armies that we don't really normally play. So I thought it'd be just something that I can just sit here and blabble about. You guys can listen and, maybe you guys give me some inputs or maybe somehow I help you if you're somehow one of the only Storm Legion players left. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that Storm Legion is just one of the armies that kind of just fell behind compared to some of the other armies that exist right now. I.e. Old Umbri, which actually is what I'm playing today. In this video, going over our game that we played, I told Sheldon I really wanted to play some more into Old Umbri. My locals has a couple of Old Umbri players. I don't get to play against them all the time because they're kind of spread out. It's like maybe 2 to 3 Old Umbri players going north, and then when I go out west, whenever we play Steamrollers out west in Florida, it's a little bit different. I don't think they have any Old Umbri players there. There might be a couple in Jacksonville, maybe a couple in Ocala, I'm not sure. And then I'll find out later, I think next month, when we go to Gainesville, see if maybe there's any Old Umbri there. But yeah, I mean, when I'm playing here, I'm playing Sparkhammer, kind of an underrated caster. I'm sure most people have probably heard. Sparkhammer and Athena are kind of like on the lower end played. Not saying skill level, I'm sure they're really good. Just popularity, Kane's pretty popular, Huxley's very popular. I love Wolf. Wolf is my favorite caster out of all of them. And then Kane is just, it's the boogeyman. Everybody sees Kane. Calder, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Calder yet. I haven't really played a lot of Calder yet. I'd like to put her on the table. I think my only gripe with Calder is the accuracy. She doesn't really have like an accuracy buff or anything that helps her army hit. So you're kind of just stuck at your base mat and rat, unless you're playing the Cav and you have 3 dice when you charge or whatever. But anyway, getting into Sparkhammer. Let's talk about Sparkhammer. So the list I'm playing today is the same list that I played a week ago when I went to the Steamroller in Sarasota. Something I wanted to try out. So I'm playing Sparkhammer. I got 1 Borealis. I have a Courser that's an Arc Node, Heavy Stormthrower, and the Voltaic Punching Spike. Playing the General. Playing Eilish, Garrity. Legionnaire Officer. Got 1 of those. Playing Double Zephyr. Yeah, Double Zephyr. 1 unit of Arcane Mechanics. 2 Stormcallers, Storm Veins, and 2 Tempest Assailers. Just something, it's just a draft list, really. I was trying to think of how I would play, like if I'm playing into Old Umbri, which list I'm dropping. Right now I'm playing Wolf as my other list. So I was like, well, I don't really want to, I could probably try Wolf later down the line, but I want to try some Sparkhammer, see how it goes. So as far as models go, pretty basic. The Borealis and the Storm Cadre models are in there because they're Storm Cadre. The General's in there just because he's a pretty crazy threat. He's 2-inch reach. You can do some crazy jackhammer plays. Like if you go from first, you can charge 6, 3, 9, reach 2. He has overtakes. So you can, like, if you kill something, move an inch. End of activation, I can use the repo card, push him 3 more inches down the board. Somewhere between 13 to 16 inch, depending on how the overtakes go. It's probably higher actually. It might be 19, but like depending where he lands after that, I can go with Sparkhammer and then just like 1-cost jackhammers, which is pretty crazy. The Courser's in here as another thing I wanted to try. I was like, maybe, 1-cost jackhammers are pretty good. 1-cost lightning pulses could be pretty good. I was like, oh, if I'm playing into Old Umbri, the shape-shifting thing gets a little wonky when you're using Electro Leaps. So I was like, oh, well, maybe if I spam like lightning pulses. I know the first attack is a direct attack, but the Electro Leap that you get off of it could stop some things. So I was like, oh, maybe I got that working for me. So yeah, that was one angle I can go with the Courser. And then he's an arc node, so I mean, if I need a hot swap electrify or whatever, it's only range 6. So depending on where my models are at, you know, I can kind of like maneuver around and hot swap some electrify, which is really good damage buff. Let's see, Eilish Garrity's just for the rerolls. I wanted to give it a shot. In the steamroller I played last week, I was able to do some cheese with I was playing against Necrofactorium. I was like, I had this crazy convoluted play that I was already kind of like losing, and I was like, well, let me try this and see if it works. I used Eilish Garrity to box one of his, I think it was a Sludge Thrall. Boxed him, took control of him. I boxed him, he failed the tough check. That was another thing I didn't pay attention to. If he would have passed the tough check, then that would have screwed the whole thing over. But I was like, oh, let's give it a shot. So I def rattled. He failed the tough check. I boxed his Sludge Thrall. I moved the Sludge Thrall up and didn't attack into. There was another Sludge Thrall in the unit that was already knocked down. He had 1 box left. So I like walked him over, killed the last guy that was knocked down, and then one of my other models finished off the 3rd Sludge Thrall. I mean, the clear reason why I put him in the list for Puppet Master, I was like, well, Sparkhammer's feet lets him reroll electrical attacks. You know, maybe Eilish Garrity can help out rerolling jackhammers if I send in the general or I run the Borealis in and do my thing. The officer's the officer. I play 1. It's nice just to have access to Grievous Wounds, Tactician. The double Zephyrs. The Zephyr is, it's ever since the update. I mean, this is like the 2nd year that they've really like juiced them up. The year prior, they did a couple of changes to them, and I didn't really play them. But this year, I'm loving the Zephyr. Let me tell you, between the Carapace and the Steady, and he just has Pathfinder, which is great. But being able to not be knocked down is amazing in an army that doesn't really have a lot of ways to prevent being knocked down, aside from Athena's defense formation or Huxley going into ground mode. So the Zephyr on his own, I mean, he costs 9 points, right? 18 boxes. Comparing this to the Cav that's in the army, right? The Storm Legion Cav. Storm Legion Cav, they have 5 boxes each. Yeah, they have unyielding, that's cool. You know, if they get hit by a melee attack, they're a little bit higher armor or whatever. But they don't have Pathfinder, which drives me nuts, which means I have to take 2 officers. I mean, you don't have to. You could take the Careful Recon card or whatever, but it drives me nuts. So I'm like, comparing the Zephyr to the Storm Legion Cav, the Storm Lances, is just like, the Zephyr alone has more HP. He's got Pathfinder, so I don't have to worry about that. Can't be knocked down. The Cav can be knocked down. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 initials. One of them being really good, has Brutal Charge and Electroleap, and just Auto Disruption. He's mat 6, so he's gonna go into Jax pretty well. Between Brutal Charge and Electrify, you're charging at POW 19, and then you get, you know, the Electroleap cheese or whatever. Really good. He's Cav. He has crit knockdown. It kind of just works its way. Like, it just does it by himself because he's Cav. So if he charges, you know, you get it's easier to knock the enemy down. But then he has Plasma Nimbus. So like if you hit me, you're gonna take a POW 12 because the Zephyr also has Ionization. And then he has base Repo 3. So it's like the Zephyr is just cranked. And then if you hop swap Electrify, you can do some pretty crazy damage, you know, alone, just that one model. And in this game, you'll see later on, I put him into the Hounds, which are a pretty decently chunky unit. You know, armor 17, defense 14, armor 17 with shield wall, can't be knocked down. They have tough. But, you know, the Zephyr alone with Electrify, the amount of volume of attacks, like, it can get there. The arcane mechanics are pretty self-explanatory in this list. I'm kind of just banking off making sure I get Accumulator most of the time between the Borealis and the General. And then the Storm Veins, the thing that I hate about making lists, especially in my local game, my local game is like everybody's just very angry all the time, man. All they want to do is just assassinate. No one wants to go to turn 7. Everybody just wants to look for an assassination angle through shooting or whatever, some crazy cheese. So I'm like, look, let me take some Storm Veins. It'll probably help out Sparkhammer. I mean, he's defense 13, armor 17. He has higher armor compared to most casters with victim stats. You tend to see a lot of defense 15, armor 15 a lot of the time. So I don't know. I figure the Stormblades would probably help. The other arcane machineries, or I'm sorry, they're called galvanic capacitors or whatever. The other ones like Lightning Wraith and Polarity Fields, whatever. It's okay. I don't really get a lot of use out of that. And then the Double Sailors, another unit or model in the game right now in Storm Legion that I think is just a must-have, man. Like I've been begging for 8 boxes for so long, and when I finally got it in January, I was like, this is the best. This is the best. I mean, if I can get 10, it'd be even greater because I'm jealous of Winter Core and they're freaking they're heavy units. But being armor 20, 8 boxes, can't be knocked down, and then the repulsor field has made a difference in a lot of my games last week. Between being hard to get rid of and then pushing it back an inch, they can be pretty annoying. And then the clapback is great because they have smite. You know, they can smite models into each other, get extra die. Like they can crank up. And then in this list, because I have access to electrify, you're power 17, and you know it hurts even more. So that's something too. So anyway, take a look at the game right here. He's playing the little totem thing. I think it has like Dark Shroud and something else. I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, I would rather my guys have the most armor they can get this entire game. I know some problem models in Old Umbri, especially for me. It's definitely Jahana. What's her name? Jahana? The Dark Sister. She has the Star-Crossed ability or whatever. Yeah, Jazana Aga, Dark Sister. Very problematic solo, especially in this matchup where I'm not really like I don't really have access to like Carnage or something to like make it easier for me to hit. I have to get rid of that model. Later on I target it down, but like that's one model that's pretty scary. I think that's another reason why I didn't want to play Wolf into Umbri. At least the list that I'm playing right now doesn't really have ways of ignoring stealth. I mean, I play Deuce, so I mean that's something. But yeah, and I mean in the Sparkhammer list, you have access to Storm Call as a special rule. It's just you ignore cover, concealment, stealth, and elevation. So I mean, like that. That's just, I mean, in my opinion, way better. Just having like the sheer amount of models that could get you out of that bind. So yeah, between the totem and the support pieces, I wanted to make sure I got rid of those early. He's not playing any scapegoats in this list, so that'll kind of help me as well. Yeah, so I mean, his turn one after he just ran up. The first 2 turns were boring. I didn't want to talk about them. We're basically just walking up the board or running up the board. That's just how War Machine is the first 2 turns. Nothing too crazy. But he decided to just throw all of the old Umbri, the little dudes, the wardens in my face. Just to, that I'd have to deal with them. Well, I mean, Legion wardens are, defense 12, armor 16, is decent, and then unyielding armor 18. Like they're a really good unit. And this list though, he's basically just wanting me to fall first trap and killing him, so that way he can just shapeshift into the crazy werewolf guys. So my game plan on this turn was essentially just to try to use as many electroleaps as I can to like make it kind of tough for him to put him in the spaces he wants to. Start off with the electroleaps, and then if the shapeshifted models like get in range, like right here, I think he tries to drop one of the big guys, but he decides not to. Also fitting them in. I mean, they're medium and large bases, so sometimes it's kind of hard to fit them where you want to fit them. But yeah, I'm trying to leverage the most I can with the smaller models first, like getting as many electroleaps as I can. Hopefully, I disable or box them, and then go in with like the melee stuff, like the heavy hitting stuff to try to get rid of the bears. Like right here, I send the assailers in, just get rid of that bear. Did I say wolves earlier? I meant to say bears. My bad. But yeah, there's a couple double ones I roll in this game too, especially towards the end of the game. It's freaking frustrating. But it's a game of dice. It is what it is. And then WARTABLE, whatever algorithm they use for rolling dice, it is what it is. But yeah, that ends my. I think this is. Let me see. He went first. Yeah, so this is bottom of 2. I think we did scoring. Oh, this turn's not. This turn's not over yet. I have it sped up. I'm voicing this over. Um, yeah, so just continuing. I'm just like I said. I'm just trying to lever as many electro leaps as I can before I go in with the heavier hitting models. One thing I was thinking about after playing this game was, I mean, this was just the list I took last weekend. I have another list that I want to test with Sparkhammer too. I like made a couple of edits to where I decided to just take out the Stormcaller guys, like the small 5-man unit or the 3-man unit, the 5-point model. I just decided to take them out. They're okay, but I wanted to probably try out like a more heavier battle group. So I actually have another list where I'm playing 4 strikers, the super cheap strikers, just a relentless charge head, the spear that has the electro leaps, powerful attack, and then the gun that has D3 electro leaps. Because the gun alone, a 4-point gun on the striker or whatever, it kind of solves what I'm trying to do here, which is trying to get as many electro leaps as I can into the old Umbri models. So I figured, that kind of covers that. Still playing the double Zephyr because I just love it so much. Between the 4 strikers and the Zephyr and hot swapping, like electrify twice a turn or whatever, um, you can do some pretty good damage. And they're pretty self sufficient too. Unfortunately, the strikers defense 12, armor 18, which is like paper nowadays. Even with the whole lethality change, some armies just crank it. It's like super, like armor 18 is nothing. Um, but yeah, I needed something cheap to sit on the 50 to contest it. We are playing. I think this is high stakes, so this is the one where the one of the flags will explode and then the flag will be worth more. But as long as the 50 is contested, it's kind of random at which one starts to blow up. So I was like, we'll play a little bit of a scenario game. And then if he decides to get pretty close in, then I have the general in the back that's kind of like just going to be the boogeyman. So like if he gets super close, I'll charge in, do my thing, and then reposition and try to buy jackhammers into his caster. Because especially this list, the longer it goes on, he's playing Morozov, the transforming shape-shifting guy. And the longer the game goes on, especially with like all the shape-shifting and stuff, like it gets really scary. Like I played another game. I think I had played Kane into Morozov one time, and Sheldon was playing him, and he ended up popping the feet and like did some crazy shit where he like popped the feet, walked forward, jumped, and like beat backed a whole bunch of my models to reach Kane, and then he got to Kane, and Kane just melted once he hit the defense 17. I'm trying to remember. He like knocked me down and then just bought attacks into him because once King gets knocked down, it's like over. I didn't think he was gonna get to me, so I didn't cast heightened reflexes. I just kind of just it's like, oh well, that's how that ends. So, yeah, I think this was the first turn of scoring. Yeah, first turn of scoring. I scored 2. He scores 1. Um, his 40 ends up just scoring at every game. He put a unit of wardens there, and I just couldn't get rid of him. That he just kept using the attachment to give him stealth, and most of my models that ignore stealth, unfortunately, are not on that side of the board. But I figured if he's scoring 1 every turn, it's whatever. I'm gonna try to focus on my 40, the flags on the side. Oh wait, am I confused? This isn't high stakes, is it? Yeah, it is high stakes. For some reason, I thought it was pressure point. Um, yeah, so I'm just gonna focus on the flags on the side. I have Zephyrs. They can hold it down pretty well, and I'll hold my 40 the entire game and just try to always just be ahead until I can just eat through all of these guys. It's gonna take a bit. Yeah, so I think he ends up charging the Borealis. Yeah, he charges the Borealis. Does a good chunk to him. He does well here in charging me, but also making sure that he's stuck behind the or the Stormcaller stuck behind him, so my Repulsor field won't push him. So, very good way of handling that. Yeah, he just swiped. Those Stormcaller guys just they die like instantaneously. Oh, and then here he just I think that's a sprint back. The Strix is also a very annoying model. It kind of reminds me of the Clockatrice from Grimkin because the the Strix just has admonition. I thought it was an Animus. He just has admonition. So he actually could have when I ran the Courser up or whatever I did with the Courser, I think he probably could have triggered admonition to move closer. The game probably could have been over just then because I think he might have been able to get to Sparkhammer off of that. Now that I look at it. So here with the champions, he sends one of them up, and then I think he casts Third the Blood on the other one, and then yeah, that's what happens. He puts Third the Blood on the other champion. That champion charges my Courser. Courser just melts. Like once you charge him, he's done. You don't even have to charge him. You can just walk up and as long as you can hit him, he just melts. It's nothing. He actually didn't finish it off with the champion, which I was surprised. I definitely think the champion can do that all day. So yeah, there he transforms one of his guys into I think this is the Killing Spree shapeshifted bear. So he's gonna start going on a killing spree. He kills the Courser, he moves up, tries to hit the Stormcaller. He's definitely gonna hit the Stormcaller. Stormcaller's gonna die. He procs Righteous Vengeance on the General, which is excellente for me, because next turn I get that free movement. So I could just move like 3 to the left and then just have that open charge angle. Yeah, so Killing Spree kills the Stormcaller, walks up, kills the Assailer, walks up, and I think this next attack he just misses, which was unfortunate. It is what it is, you know. Like, oh no, he hits, but he doesn't kill me, so that's where the Killing Spree stops right there. And then I Repulsor him back an inch because of Repulsor. So, yeah. Um, yeah, Sparkhammer is interesting. One of his spells in Hospital Ground, uh, amazing spell, just not against Old Umbry or any army where the whole army has Pathfinder. So basically, Shadowflame Shard, Gravediggers, and Old Umbry. Like the whole army has Pathfinder, so casting that is kind of a waste of time. But I mean, in certain matchups, it does pretty well. I had some use of it last weekend against like I think Necrofactorium. What was the other match I dropped Sparkhammer into? And I dropped it into Chimera also, so definitely didn't get anything out of that. He sends his other shifted bear in, gets rid of another assailer. Second initial, get some damage into the assailer. Oh no, he dies too. Yeah. Yeah, those bears are just so. It's crazy, man. Like you just put them in the list. They're super cheap. Transform them anytime. One of them has killing spree. Uh, yeah, my Zephyr on the right side ended up charging over there with Electrify, and oh no, he didn't actually have Electrify. So that was another thing too. The Zephyr without Electrify, charging into the Hounds, I was able to get rid of 2 of the 3 models. I think one of the attacks missed. That's why I didn't pick up that last one. But yeah, the Zephyr can just like sit there. I mean, what is the last model in the Hound's gonna do? I think that was I don't think it's Scribola. I think it's is it Scribola? I think it's Scribola. Either way, I mean, the melee attack's going to do nothing, and if you shoot him, it's going to do nothing. So I felt pretty confident in the Zephyr being on that side, just holding on that flag. It was kind of a waste, and I also, overlooking it, I should have been towing the flag more on like the left side, so that way I could kind of like, if something happened, which later on something did, um, at least be able to charge back into the game. But yeah, like right here. I just walked over there to try to finish off that last hound. Tried to take some of my arcing fire javelin tosses into that unit of wardens up top, but his attachment just kept giving it stealth. So unfortunate. Unfortunate. It was mute anyway. I mean, I was just gonna leave that unit or that objective contested, or I was just gonna let him have it because I'd rather just have the flag and stay back. Yeah, so this, I think this is the turn where I thought I cut it out, but I did a lot of thinking on this turn because he sends the Dark Sister up, the one super problematic model. Her aura is like, I think it's maxed out, like 5 inches or something. And my model is in the bottom left corner. One of these sailors is already in it. So here I was like, well, if I decide to charge with the Zephyr into that solo, I'm gonna have an extra die, drop the highest. So I was like trying to see which way I can do this. Like, I can't really shoot first because I'm engaged with the assailers. I think he's defense like base is 12 or 13 or something like that. But with target and melee, it's higher, and I didn't want to chance Rat 6 missing, just throwing javelin tosses in with the Zephyr. I was feeling confident in the Stormcallers, but I don't think they would have been able to do it. So anyway, yeah, I go with the Zephyr. I just do it. I just charge. I give my Zephyr Puppet Master. I charge his champion with the Zephyr that has Electrify and the Puppet Master. So I roll, drop the 6. I still hit, and I just wipe him off. Easy peasy. The Cav made it easy. I mean, if I didn't have Cav, it wouldn't have done anything. So I ended up tossing some javelins, but because of the Star Cross, I miss both. Would have been nice. Even with the Puppet Master, I miss. So it is what it is. I charge, get rid of the champion, and I think this is where I'm measuring a couple of things out before I end of activation reposition. Do I just not reposition here? Guess not. I think this was the make or break turn, so I don't think I cared about the point. I was already up in scenario points anyway. So I was like, one turn of not scoring this flag is not going to kill me. I just wanted to stay in the game. I mean, I had already cleared out most of his army aside from the beasts. So I was feeling a little bit confident in my attrition game because I had some heavy hitters still like on the board between the general, 2 Zephyrs, and a unit of assailers. So I was like, oh, this is not bad. So here I move Sparkhammer onto the hill, and I decide to boost, and I'm trying to get rid of the Dark Sister using Sparkhammer because he ignores stealth. So yeah, just walk him here, and I try to see if I can shoot the Dark Sister off the board, but I don't roll very high. I really needed to boost damage, but I think I was scared that if I dropped down too low in focus, that I was going to just get erased off the board next turn, given I'm already kind of in charge range anyway. So yeah, I send the Stormcaller up, my last Stormcaller. He hits, but I think he scratches. I don't think he wipes out the Dark Sister, and I think that is where the game starts to go south. Is that I was meaning to kill it with Sparkhammer, but I had to put too much into it. I mean, I get rid of it like I needed to, and then here, I think this is where I messed up because I'm trying to charge the champion. I mean, I didn't care about ammunition. I wasn't going to go into. I knew that District's had ammunition. If I charge, it was just going to ammunition away. But I don't charge. I walk up to the champion, and I don't kill him with the initials, so I don't get the overtake. I already went with Sparkhammer, so I can't do the jackhammer stuff. But I was like, I can't believe I walked up I had one wasted focus, but I was like, I can't believe I walked up and did not kill the champion with my initials. Yeah, so then the officer just charges, gets rid of that one bear. I run the storm veins up to just kind of clog up the what he's got going on over there. And then here I end up running the assailers because I needed to jam up the Strix because I gave him Righteous Vengeance on all three of the models that could possibly get Righteous Vengeance. So he's definitely going to walk up and start killing things. And of course, I'm sitting here trying to find a landing spot. I had to use Careful Recon on the unit of sailors. I thought that I could charge, and every way that I measured it, I could not get the 8-inch charge. So I would have failed the charge. So I just run them up and jam the Strix. So going into my turn scenario, I'm still up on scenario. Yeah, so this is where he gets his free Righteous Vengeance movements. Walks up the Strix, annihilates the sailor that had 2 HP left. Walks up his caster. Pretty sure he annihilates that sailor as well. Oh no, he does. I don't think he does. I think I end up pushing him back, but he still kills him later on anyway. But trying to see what I could have possibly done differently to where that turn wouldn't have been so ass. The Dark Sister is what kind of messed up my plan because I was like, I need to somehow get rid of the Dark Sister. If I can get rid of the Dark Sister, then the general definitely gets there. The general just charges, does his thing, overtakes, repositions into the caster, by jackhammers. Even if I don't kill Morozov, I'm almost certainly going to kill both the Feral and the Strix because the general just slaps. It's ridiculous, and I could have hot swapped Electrify too. So I felt confident in that game plan. Didn't work out very well. A lot of positioning errors. If anything, I know what to expect though, because I don't, like I said, I don't play into Old Umbri very often, but at least I kind of have a game plan. So yeah, he feats, shapeshifts, kills the assailer. The general, unfortunately, is going to get knocked down. He combo smited the sailor into my general, knocking down the general. And what happens here? Oh no, I'm sorry. He doesn't get. I marked him as knockdown. We checked the rules, and the assailer's a medium base that got slammed into the general. So find out that he doesn't get knocked down, and then we continue through. The general's still going to die, unfortunately. If the general would survive this turn, I feel confident I would have had it because then the between Old Faithful and the mechanics walking up and healing the general could have just healed the systems that I needed, and then just walked up jackhammered. Yeah. High stakes is another scenario that we don't really. My locals, all 3 to 4 of them, every time we go for steamrollers, they don't put high stakes on the in the rounds. Usually, we're always playing wolves. We're always playing pressure point, and the last one's a toss up. It's usually either payload, or what's the other scenario? What is the other scenario that we play the most? I don't even think we play Fault Line or Two Fronts. I think I've just been playing the same 3 or 4 scenarios. Trench Warfare. Trench Warfare, definitely Trench Warfare, Wolves, Pressure Point, and Payload. Sometimes we get Fault Line, but I think High Stakes is pretty good. I enjoy it. It's pretty fun. If for some reason the flags would have exploded, I wouldn't have been too concerned because Zephyr's going to survive it, so he doesn't really care. Yeah, so the Pharaoh ends up charging in. I think he goes after the Veins first. I think I do like one little scratch chip hit with the Plasma Nimbus because he failed to kill one of the Storm Veins, but then he just buys into the General, and if the Feral doesn't do it, I know the Shapeshifted guy does. Oh, maybe he didn't do it with the Shapeshifter guy. Maybe he did it with the Strix. Yeah. Guess he did do it with the Strix. I still think the Strix could have just charged Sparkhammer right there and just ended the game anyway. But yeah, I mean, looking at it this way, it just meant that he won the attrition game. Because after this, I mean, after losing all these sailors in the General, I have the Zephyr, but Zephyr is not going to do anything against 2 War Beasts, the Caster. I mean, it might kill the Shapeshifted the bear, but yeah. Right here is what I was talking about on the far right. The Zephyr is so far away from the battlefield. I feel like if I would have towed the flag, I mean, the quicksand is in the way, which kind of sucks, but I feel like he was a little bit closer. Because really, the Zephyr this game just traded 9 points for whatever the Hounds are. 9 for 9. He didn't even trade. He just took 9 points, and then after that, he didn't do anything the rest of the game. So, yeah, going into my turn, I'm thinking of any foreseeable way of winning this. I end up sending the Arcane Mechanics in, and let me tell you, I was very surprised that I even hit Mat 5 into this thing, but I charge it with the Mechanic. They don't have dual attack, but I charge it with one of the Mechanics. One of them misses, and then the last one picks him up because he somehow hit Mat 5 into whatever that was, defense 13. So yeah, that surprised me. The Stormcallers just walk up. As soon as I walk, he had munitions, but I walk up and try to shoot his caster, just trying to get as much damage into his caster as possible before I send Sparkhammer in to do as much as Sparkhammer can do. It's not very often that Sparkhammer gets into the action, but I think he's probably one of the few. I can't even say the few. He's Mat 7, so that's something. Eilish walks up, gives Puppet Master to Sparkhammer, and then does his Gatecrasher thing or whatever, teleports to the flag. It's not like there's going to be another turn, but then here we go. And then Sparkhammer charges in, gets Morozov, gives himself Electrify, making it cost 1, and then here we go. We're going to start missing. Roll double 1s, roll 4. I needed 6s, and I got like 2 of them. I burn Puppet Master to roll into another miss. I miss because I roll another double 1. I roll my D3 Electroleaps into the Feral. He ends up just camping that 1 transfer. I get him down, I think, there we go. I think it stops at 5 HP. And that's pretty much the game, because I'm going to walk the Zephyr up. And I'm going to try to see if the Zephyr can somehow get me out of this. I walk him over there. And I just miss. Look at that. Double 1s. So roll a 3, roll a 4. Yep, there we go. There goes all the initials. So actually, yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Goodbye. So, yeah, and then the other Zephyr just walks up. He should have been there the entire time. And none of the flags actually explode this entire scenario. So, but yeah, that's pretty much the game. We always count up points and everything. If you ever want to see any of our, for some reason, if you ever want to see our casual games, we record all of them every week. They're on our Fire at Will community page. There's some games we record the IRL games also, so we have some IRL games in there as well that we tally up. So, but yeah, guys, I hope this was a little bit informative. I'm talking to like the 2 Storm Legion players in the world. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm over exaggerating. Storm Legion's not that underplayed, but I do feel like it's on the decline. I'm actually working on finishing up painting my Gravediggers, and then I'll be playing that. So see how that goes. I know Gravediggers is a little bit more of a harder army to play, definitely a higher ceiling. So I look forward to learning as much as I can with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I got nothing else to say. I'm gonna try to be consistent with these. I mean, at least recording them and getting them on YouTube. But like I said, we play every week, so I mean, even if we don't record it or whatever, maybe I'll save them up, and it's just something that I'll throw out there as a series. But I appreciate you guys listening, and I'll see you again next time.